Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Monday episode of the Degenerate Simulators podcast. I'm your host, Jordan. Um, Sorry if I sound a little gross. Suffering from some severe seasonal allergies as we approach springtime, but we're here. That's all that matters. Um, yeah, so pretty decent Saturday slate. We took Sunday off, no episode. I didn't post any pics. Just didn't really have time to research anything. And like I said, trying not to force any action. Trying to be really methodical. Trying to have a good month. So sorry about the day off, but hey, we can't lose any money if we don't put any money out there. So is what it is. But as far as Saturday's bets go, just a quick little recap. We had 3 picks go out. We go 2-1, up zero point 0.9 units. The Senators minus 1.5. Got a little dicey. They fell 2-1 going into the third. They score 3 unanswered goals. The Sharks get one back on a power play. That was actually a 6-on-4 because they pulled the goalie during that power play. They get one, but then the Senators lock us in with an empty netter goal. So we cover there. Lane versus Pinto, under 1.5 rounds. Crazy fight that was. Both fighters get dropped in the first round. I was a little nervous that they were gonna, gas out a little bit heading in the second. There were some big fellas and they were throwing some big strikes. But I actually have the clip pulled up for you guys here. Let me see. Okay, making sure the mic was on this setting on Streamlabs. So 30 seconds in a round two, bang, dead. So pretty. Oh, all right, pretty solid win there. And then the Warriors do not cover the spread; they actually lose the game outright. I would consider this a bad beat. Quentin Grimes had 46 points, I believe. He was somewhere. I think it was 46, but he was somewhere near 50. Didn't get it. Who expects Quentin Grimes to have a damn near 50 ball? It looked like the Warriors could have forced this game into overtime, but in my opinion, the officiating got a little wonky in the later portion of this game. But it is what it is. Winning day regardless. The run stays alive. We're 9-3, up 5.6, I think, with that one. In our past few episodes, let me see. Go up to 0.7. Yeah, 5.6 units up in this little run we got going here. 9-3. I got 4 picks coming out today. A little bit of a busier day. Kind of want to test the waters. We've been, not really. We had a 4 pick day a couple days ago that went 3-1. That's kind of what started the run. But definitely our biggest day in the past few days worth of episodes. I got 1 from the NHL, 3 from the NBA, and what do we want to start with? We'll start with the NBA. So first game I'm looking at here is the Atlanta Hawks taking on the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies are at home. Just a quick preface. We do have some important to note game time decisions. The Hawks have a few, but most importantly to note, Trae Young is a game time decision. And then on the Grizzlies side of things, Ja Morant is a game time decision. However, we have seen some line movement. Spoiler alert. I will go into some notes, but I did catch the Grizzlies at -8. They did jump all the way to -9.5 pretty late last night. Did I say 8.5 or 9.5? I forget. I'm sorry. I meant to say 9.5 if I didn't say that. They did jump to 9.5, but right now they are back to 8.5. Given that big line jump, I want to say Ja Morant is likely to be playing. But I will keep you posted via our Instagram, which if you aren't following us, please check us out at DD Sports Podcast on Instagram. And I will keep an eye on it as it gets closer to tip off, an 8 a.m. or 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. Eastern time tip off. So I'll definitely keep a close eye on that. But anyways, the Grizzlies have been great on the year. However, they've had a rough patch of games. They're 2-3 in their last 5. But they've been great at home. 22-8 straight up and 18-12 ATS. The Grizzlies have dropped 2 straight. These were at home, so very uncharacteristic of them to be dropping 2 back-to-back home games given their great record at home. They were 22-6 heading into those. The Grizzlies did play Atlanta back on December 21st, so quite some time ago, but this was in Atlanta, and they beat them 128-112, so a 16-point win there. Both of these teams do need a win. As far as who the win does more for, I would argue the Grizzlies actually. They were the second seed in the West, but with these two losses, given how tight the West is in seeds like 2 through 6 and 7, they dropped all the way to fourth. So I think they want to get back up there. You know, I mean they can do it in one game. It's not like they have to go on a nice run here. And Atlanta has been very spotty. So hopefully they capitalize here at home. Like I said, they've been great. And also a fun fact to note: Ja Morant against Trae Young, assuming that they both play. Ja Morant is 5-2 against him in his career, so uh, you know the numbers are there. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been the biggest fan of this Atlanta team. They just got blown out by OKC, and then they did lose to the Heat as well. And I believe they've lost three in a row. Who is the third team? Let me confirm something real quick. Da 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 da. Oh no. So okay, never mind. I lied. So yeah, lost to OKC, lost to the Heat. They beat the Heat the game before that. They played them back to back. They lost to the Pistons, and then they lost to the Magic. But yeah, we know this Memphis offense is great. Atlanta's defense not so great. 8 is a little bit of a high number here, but like I said, the Grizzlies have been great at home, 18-12 ATS. I think they definitely can do it. That's what I'm rocking with to start off the night. So first pick of the day, give me Grizzlies -8 for 1.1 units. And I actually do have a second pick coming from this game. It is a player prop. We have been pretty hot with those, but we haven't had any in a couple episodes. So we're running it back. Actually taking an under here. Like I said, I'm not the biggest fan of unders. They kind of stress me out. But we did take an under via an Instagram play a couple days ago with Trae Young actually. So funnily enough. But we're looking at Jaren Jackson Jr.'s. I always struggle with his name. Assists and rebounds line. His line is at 9.5. On the season, he's averaging 5.9 rebounds a game and 2.2 assists. That's 8.1 if you combine the two on the year. So the line is, I mean, not like a crazy jump, but it is, worthy of noting. That is a pretty big gap of 1.4 assists and rebounds on average for this line. He did hit this number on February 20th. So I can't do math, guys. I'm sorry. Let me look at the calendar here. So that was about like a week and a half ago. But prior to that day, February 20th, he went on a 10 straight game streak of not hitting that number, which dates back all the way to January 24th that he didn't hit this. So when it comes to his assists and rebounds, Triple J can be a little streaky. Purely a number play or like a system play. I don't really like using these like simulators that a lot of people use. They run like these AI simulations or whatever, blah blah blah, and see what his projected line is. I'm not doing that. I'm just sticking to the statistics here. So I'm taking the under on this. He is a very prominent scorer. But there are a lot of games where that's all he does. So I'm kind of banking on that here. And I think if the Grizzlies, the Grizzlies were to cover the -8, I think we do see a big scoring performance out of Jaren Jackson Jr. And hopefully he just doesn't really grab the rock and swing the rock a lot. So we'll be taking for the second pick of the day, Jaren Jackson Jr. under 9.5 assists and rebounds for 1.2 units on that one. And then we'll keep with the NBA here. We'll save the NHL pick for last. I do have some stats pulled up for this one as well, so we can look into those. But we're looking at the Heat taking on the Wizards at home. You guys didn't see, the Heat did blow another lead in the fourth quarter to the New York Knicks last night. Pretty unfortunate to see. I think they were up like 4 with less than a minute to go in the game. Game ends up going to overtime, and the Heat lose by 4. This isn't really new for the Heat. It's kind of becoming a meme on Instagram. If NBA games were only 3 quarters long, the Heat would be by far, the number 1 seed or very high up in the rankings. But unfortunately, that's not how basketball works. So the Heat are catching 8.5 as favorites for the game total. I don't. I'm kind of sticking away from it. like I said, we keep seeing these Heat fourth quarter collapses. It is the Wizards we're talking about, so they can do it. But I'm just kind of playing to what I know here. Important to note for the Wizards, Jordan Poole and Malcolm Brogdon are out. I would say those are two more like their prominent players. So they're missing a lot of depth here. But we're looking at the first half because, like I said, the Heat, you know, the record doesn't really indicate it, but they have. I've been seeing improvement with this team. They beat the Pacers. Let me go back. Let me look at this really quick. Why can't I? Hold on. ESPN tripping out. Um, yeah. So we lost to New York last night. Like I said, they did beat the Pacers and Atlanta back to back. And they did put up a lot of points on these teams. 125 on the Pacers and 131 on the Hawks. So I do see improvements with this team. It looks like Andrew Wiggins will be playing tonight. He did sit out yesterday. I think this is a good game to kind of figure out how to better work Wiggins into this offense because I feel like he hasn't really been too effective. But like I said, I don't want to see another fourth quarter collapse. I'm looking at the first half here. For the Heat, -4.5 first half spread. It is -120. Not that expensive, and I think it's very doable given how good the Heat have been doing early game. And like I said, it's the Wizards. So that's what we're rocking with here. Third pick of the day. Give me the Heat -4.5 first half spread for another 1.2 units. And then last pick of the day, we are going to the NHL. Just a fair preface. This is a Jordan pick for the NHL. I did ask Daniel about it. He said he likes the pick. So we're gonna dive into some numbers here. Let me just double check, make sure my mic is picking up on here. Okay, we're good. So I have used this website once or twice for NHL picks that I give out. It's called verybet.com. You can see in the top left. I definitely recommend checking them out. Not a sponsor. I like this website a lot. It makes it very easy to understand it's the statistics here. So we're looking at trends based on their last 10 games. If you guys can't see, we have the Senators on the left, Capitals on the right. Straight up in the last 10, Senators 5-5, Capitals straight up 4-6. Before we look at the numbers, I wanted to point out, I think both teams really need this win. We do know the Capitals, they're pretty high up in the rankings, points wise, or like in the league standings. Let me see here really quick. So the Capitals are in the Metropolitan Division. They have a 10-point lead. So I think they're relatively locked in, for a playoff spot, obviously. But this was a team on top of the league, a couple weeks ago. The Jets have taken that with 88 points now. I think the Capitals definitely can go on a deep playoff run. However, they're on a 3-game skid. That's not really a message you want to be sending this late into the season. There's about 22 games left, depending on, for the Capitals, they've had 60 games played. So yeah, they do have 22. I can't see them not trying to fight for this win here. They've lost 3 in a row. And then, we just talked about the Senators on Saturday's episode. They are 2 points behind a wild card spot. The Blue Jackets did take the win against the Red Wings. We did talk about that game too. The Red Wings are at 66 points and the Senators are right behind them with 64. So I think both teams really want to fight for this win here, which would lead me to believe there will be a lot of goals. So I did look at the over line here. It is 5.5 for this game. So we're going to take a look here. On the Senator side of things, well, it actually is the same number for both teams. My apologies. Both of these teams in the last 10, they've gone over 8 times, under twice. The Senators are coming off 1 over in their last game against the Sharks. And then the Capitals did go under in their last game, but however, in their last 10, they are hitting at 80% hit rate. And then we start looking at the average goals for each team. In their last 10, Senators are averaging 3.2. For the Capitals, they are averaging 4.1. And then, we're well over that 5.5 mark by, damn near 2 goals. Then we go down to average goals against in their last 10. Senators giving up about 3.3, and the Capitals giving up 3.8. Once again, we're 1.5 over this game line of 5.5 goals. And then average game totals in their last 10 games. For the Senators, we're looking at 6.5 and then the Capitals 7.9. We can round that up to a nice round 8 goals. So yeah, kind of just another system play here, but we are taking into consideration. I do think both teams, you know, I mean, I think the Senators need this win more, but I don't think the Capitals would mind picking this one up at home either. So yeah, I think both systematically, and just the overall want slash need for this win. I think it would lead me to believe that this game goes over. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I would like to see the Senators win this. I'm not going to lie. I do want to see them get this playoff spot. They cash us in on Saturday, so I got to be a fan for the day. But yeah, with that being said, for the last pick of the day, we are going over 5.5 goals for the game total of the Senators versus the Capitals for another 1.2 units. And that's going to pretty much do it for today. Yeah, I do have one little side bet. In the Rockets Kings game, Domantas Sabonis will not be playing. I believe Jonas Valanciunas is rebounds line was 11.5 last time I checked. He did play on the first, so a couple of days ago. He did play 30 minutes, and I believe he had 14 boards. And this was against the Rockets too, so I could see him having a similar game. But there really isn't enough. There isn't a big enough sample size for him on the Kings when Sabonis isn't playing. So I'm not personally playing it, but I think there could be some money to be made there. But that's about it. We're gonna kick it into the recap. We're looking at Heat -4.5 first half spread for 1.2 units. Under 9.5 rebounds and assists for Jaren Jackson Jr. of the Grizzlies for another 1.2. And then the Grizzlies -8 for 1.15 units against the Hawks. And then over 5.5 goals for the Senators Capitals game. And that's gonna do it for us today. We will catch you guys in the late hours of the night for Tuesday's games, and we will see you there.